ladies and gentlemen. A lot of the opioid epidemic has virtually disappeared from the media. It really wasn't that heavy in the media, for some pretty obvious reasons. Well, it has actually gotten worse since 2019. During the lockdown, a lot of the rehab centers were closed. Now, some people do stay at rehab centers, and then there's a lot of people that just go on an outpatient basis. And those folks ended up ultimately, because the centers were closed, they fell off the wagon and went right back to the street drug. So during the time when you would figure the lockdown, everything would get better, it actually got worse, because you know how it is with drug addicts. They're going to find a way to get their drugs. And drug dealing and drug abusing just skyrocketed. So now you have a situation where overdoses went through the roof. Actually, there's more people that died during the lockdown on opioids than people that died during the pandemic. So it is still way out of control, even to this very day. And, being that it's getting no attention, it's just one of those things behind the scene that's really bad and growing worse, and it's just not being spoken about. Now, one thing I do know about these folks: if they can't resolve something, they just stop talking about it and ignoring it. And that just seems to be a pattern that they have. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and play this audio from the Wall Street Journal. So, fentanyl is just, it's really bad in the country, for real. And they just don't have no way to control it. They have no way to control it. And that's why it's out here. And they have decided to go with drug court because, number one, it's mostly their people. And number two, it's a way of getting out of mass incarcerating people that look like themselves. Trust me, when it was the crack epidemic, it was criminal court for everybody, but it's drug court and a second chance for them. I'm going to go ahead and play this audio from the Wall Street Journal.
Fentanyl, Adderall, and other drugs has spread. Fentanyl's ubiquity inflames America's drug crisis. The synthetic opioid, whether on its own or in tainted heroin, cocaine, Adderall, and other drugs, has spread to every corner of the illegal drug market and is driving overdose deaths to records. By Arian Campbell Flores and John Camp, photographs by Maddie McGarvey for the Wall Street Journal. September 30th, 2022, 10:54 a.m. Eastern Time. Columbus, Ohio, fentanyl, the potent opioid driving U.S. drug deaths to record highs, has infiltrated virtually every channel of the illicit drug supply and turned it more toxic than ever. In this city and across the U.S., traffickers are making fentanyl, primarily produced in Mexico, the dominant substance for opioid users craving a fix. The synthetic drug is killing users who fear its strength, but can't easily find alternatives, as well as those seeking it out to feed their rising tolerance to prescription painkillers or heroin. It also is claiming the lives of people who didn't know they were taking it. Fentanyl has changed everything, said Sean Bain, a Columbus-based drug intelligence officer with the Ohio High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Area, part of a federal program to assist law enforcement. It's just flooded the market. As a result, even though prescriptions in the U.S. outside of hospitals for opioids fell about 44% in the 8 years to 2020, opioid overdose deaths nearly tripled in that time span and moved even higher in 2021. The deaths reached about 82,000 last year, according to preliminary federal data. Fentanyl is a powerful legal medication, prescribed for cancer patients and others with severe pain. Dealers often sell powdered drugs they claim are heroin or cocaine, but actually contain an illicit form of fentanyl, which is cheap and easy to make, according to law enforcement officials. And drug users buying pills that look like painkillers, sedatives, or stimulants frequently wind up with counterfeits containing the illicit fentanyl, many of which are stamped out by drug cartels to look identical to the legitimate medicines. The proportion of seized counterfeit pills in the U.S. containing a potentially lethal dose of fentanyl increased to 44% in 2021 from 10% in 2017, according to samples analyzed by the Drug Enforcement Administration. The agency in April warned law enforcement departments across the country about an increase in fentanyl related mass overdose events involving 3 or more overdoses around the same time and location, citing instances of people who unknowingly consumed the drug. Columbus, situated at the intersection of major interstate highways, is a hub for drugs shipped north from Mexico and distributed across the Midwest, Appalachia, and the eastern seaboard, drug enforcement officials said. It is the capital of, and largest city in, a state long on the leading edge of the opioid epidemic. Its dire drug problem is a stark illustration of the epidemic's trajectory nationwide. After the rampant prescribing of pain pills seeded widespread dependence, restrictions reigned in that supply. Heroin and other opioids filled the void. Now illicit drugs are deadlier than ever because of fentanyl's pervasiveness and its mixture into a host of substances, law enforcement officials said. The number of known opioid users in the U.S. has declined in recent years amid a crackdown on prescription pills, according to federal data. Opioid prescriptions from retail pharmacies fell from a peak of 255 million in 2012 to about 143 million in 2020, the most recent federal data estimate. Purdue Pharma, hobbled by lawsuits alleging sales of its addictive painkiller OxyContin helped fuel the opioid crisis, pleaded guilty in 2020 to federal felonies involving its opioids, and the family who owns the company struck a settlement with states this year as part of continuing bankruptcy proceedings. The amount of prescription opioids dispensed in Franklin County, which includes Columbus, declined by more than half between 2015 and 2021, according to state data. But overdose deaths in the county roughly tripled over that time to 825 in 2021, a slight decrease from the peak of 859 in 2020, according to County Coroner Dr. Ana E. Ortiz. 9 in 10 of the deaths last year involved fentanyl. During finals in May at The Ohio State University in Columbus, 2 students died off campus after they were exposed to, possibly accidentally ingesting, a powdered drug in a baggie that witness and cell phone evidence suggests they believed was Adderall, a stimulant some students use as a study aid, according to Columbus police. Toxicology tests showed they died from fentanyl. Evidence indicates they found the drug in a school library and took it to an apartment, the police said.
All right. So as you can see, it's still going on strong. It's still going on strong on college campuses, virtually everywhere. It really doesn't matter. And fentanyl is in everything. And that's no exaggeration. It is in everything. And, being that it's also still bad in rural communities, I know I had gone over that. And that's why they mention Appalachia, because it is really bad. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is like the hidden epidemic, the one they don't talk about, they hide, they bury, and it's almost like it's not there, but it's taking out a lot of people every year. Now, it was bad back when I started doing the opioid videos in 2016 and 2017. You think it was bad then? It is far worse now. It is far worse now. And I didn't think it could get worse. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. And just let me know what you think in the comment section. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.